Why would I do the intro? Why
Well,
would I
too
do
late
that?
now.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said that. Why would I do it? You know what? Fine. To appease Sir AOA, who's not been here in forever, here we go. Hello there.
We're
Welcome back to the Force
professional.
Collective. What the heck? You made me say that last word really wrong. Like I was mid speaking, and then I hear you say, "Now that's better" or something like that, and then I'm like, saying
No. We're
collective or
professional.
something. Oh, is that what you said? I said like
Yes.
collective or something. Collective? Is that how I said? I don't know how I said that. Anyways, welcome back to the Force Collective. I got it right this time. It's been a little bit, of course. Were you here for the 4-hour stream, Sir AOA?
Yes.
That's right. It's been a while. That's how long it's been. I've been trying to remember which stream it was that you missed out on. I'm pretty sure
the last one.
When we talk about She-Hulk.
Oh yeah,
right.
That one, that fun one. Yeah. No, we're not going back to that one. I think the show speaks for itself at this point. Anyways, I forgot to put a background on this episode. I'm so prepared. I am so prepared. I'm not going to worry about background. Our faces are beautiful enough, except for Sir AOA's. You don't have one. But but anyways,
he's just a circle of light.
A circle of light. Okay, that's fine too. But yeah, today we're talking about the first 3 episodes of Andor. We are all clearly prepared for this episode of Star Wars Topics because I've watched all 3 episodes. I think Kronos watched all 3 episodes.
Yes, I did.
But I mean, I guess we're half prepared because the other 2 have not.
Excuse me. I've watched 1.5 episodes of Andor.
Well, you know what? That's not my problem.
Also, Commander
No,
Tano is free of the guild because she's a Marisu, so it doesn't matter if she didn't watch.
That's true. So I guess we're like 3/4 prepared due to that little technicality. Sir AOA, you knocked out our chances of being 4 out of 4. It's okay though. We forgive you.
Yeah, I see what you're saying now. Yeah.
You see it now. Okay.
Yep.
Anyways, what? Hang on a second.
Oh no, continue.
Okay. Oh gosh, we are professionals, clearly.
Yes.
Like Sir AOA said. So, anyways, oh wait, I got a comment. I'm just gonna read that. Oh, Bounty Hunter Network. I ain't seen you in a while. Nice to see you, buddy. He said he's watched all 3. It's amazing. See, it's not. I like it too. I think it's quite interesting. That you have to watch all 3 episodes, really. I think to get the full effect. That's
what I've heard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, that's part of the discussion I want to bring up because I like when Kenobi came out, people were very nervous about how they were releasing 2 episodes on the first day, and since it was a limited series, that was, of course, that felt like a red flag for a lot of people. Now we got 3 episodes on the first day, and I can see why they released all 3 at the same time. I mean, I'm glad they did, but I mean, because if they released each episode individually, I don't know if it would have had the same effect on the audience. I don't know if it would have
kept
kept
one
them.
Big mega episode. It sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, from what
Go
you
ahead.
guys have been sort of saying and what Bounty Hunter's saying, it definitely does sound like that. It definitely sounds like the 2 episodes 1 and 2 needed 3 to make it all sort of work, because I only got halfway through episode 2 and I'm just sort of, I'm trying to figure out sort of what the deal with everything is. So it sort of, I guess it kind of makes sense. where everyone that watched all three are raving about it, and all that didn't watch all three are just sort of like going, huh?
Yeah, exactly. And I think what Bounty Hunter Network said right here is very, very much true. It says, yeah, the first three are a complete arc that works well together. And actually, I'd like to make a point myself. You know how Star Wars The Clone Wars started off with a movie? Though it could have maybe
Yeah.
been done a little bit better. But I feel like any Star Wars series at this point really needs to start off with a movie that launches it. And the reason I say that is because if they're going to keep launching more than one episode, they really need a movie to kick it off.
Yeah.
I mean, it really feels like that's, what they need to do. I mean, why release multiple episodes at once? Especially, like, let's say with Kenobi, a limited series. You really should start it off with a movie. Because, I mean, if you're going to just launch the first two episodes, that's just less episodes, less watch time overall. Like, we're only going to be satisfied for like 5 weeks instead of 6, And I really think they need to go back to doing like a movie before each series.
Yeah.
Well,
Andor is going to be 12 episodes long, and this 3-episode arc, is pretty much a prologue. It's like the actual show starts in episode 4, and I think that was a smart choice because they condensed everything that happened in this small arc in these 3 episodes, and you're going to just throw it away. I mean, we already saw it; we know what happens. Move on to the actual story about him and what he's going to do next. And that's where we're going to start next week. And I really understand why they did this 3-part. It shouldn't have been a 3-part. It should have been, like you said, kind of a TV movie. But in the end, they did release them all together so we can watch them back to back. So it kind of works.
Yeah, I agree. Well, anyways, now that we got that part of the discussion out of the way, let's sort of talk about what basically the story of these episodes. Let's talk about our thoughts on that. So I'm just going to go in order of what I see on my screen right here. So Chrono, you go ahead. What did you think about the story that's being told and what they're like? I guess implying for future episodes. I guess.
Well, before we start analyzing this, we should clarify, and Commander Tano is immediately going to understand what I'm talking about. We have the clearance to talk about this show because I am here. So to that enthusiast person on Twitter, you can rest assured that we do have the representation to back up our analysis.
Oh yes, my minority friend is
what?
here. Yes, my minority friend.
Yes, Aurelio doesn't know what we're talking about.
Oh, was that the stream that he missed? Oh, that is the stream he missed. The minority friend stream. Oh no, you missed out, Saraway. Like Chrono.
Yes, it sounds like I have.
You did. The Chrono's official title in our streams now is the minority friend of Shade. Well, I mean, I guess all of us, but where I'm the host, he's my.
Oh wait. What is this in regards to?
Oh, it's a Twitter post. So yeah, go ahead, Commander Tim.
Yeah, so there was someone on Twitter basically posted that you can't, if you're going to stream and review Andor, you can't do it unless you've got, either a Latino or immigrant guest in your stream. So, but we've got that covered. Now, I do say because Chrono is only Latino and he's not Latinx, I think eventually we need to upgrade to Latinx. But for now, this is fine, but we need to recognize time.
I cannot believe you, Lady Tano, that you will want to use a slur like Latinx.
No, we need to bleep that. We should have bleeped that out.
I wish I could do that on the live stream. That would be nice.
We need that.
Yeah.
We need that for every time I say the L word. The LX word.
So Chrono is our Andor for these streams. Bounty Hunter Network says.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
And it's funny because actually Diego is Mexican, so
Yep. So my minority friend is here to approve our opinions on Andor. So don't be afraid to you know speak your mind. So, anyways, now that we got the approval of
Sorry,
of
hang
my
on. You guys
minority
are
friend
afraid
here.
to do that?
Oh, no, I was never afraid, but at least now we have like legitimate clearance here. Yeah, so nobody can say anything. So since this is a show about a Latino or a Latinx, we'll start off with Chrono. I mean, it's only fair, right? Go ahead,
yeah.
Chrono.
Well, yeah, the show it looks like it's going to be interesting. I mean, to be fair, you are going to see a very believable performance from Diego Luna because the guy is an activist, and this show is a dream come true to him. He gets to play space revolutionary. He does that here in Mexico, talking to authorities, to politicians. He's always trying to fix the world, and you're going to see a lot of that in Andor. But in this
Sorry,
case,
who's this?
Diego Luna, the main actor.
Okay, cool. Yep.
And as I mentioned in previous streams, this show is going to actually benefit from being woke instead of being a turnoff. Because all of their talking points about fascism, about people treating them like garbage, like they do not deserve to live, oppression, and all of that stuff, it actually matters here because these people really are oppressed. I was talking to a friend earlier in the week, and I was telling him, you know how Diego Luna keeps talking about this stuff on Twitter, and he sounds stupid when he talks about oppression, being a millionaire, and whatever. But when he says that stuff in the show in episode 3, when he talks about how lazy and complacent the empire is, and they don't notice them, and it's easy for them to rob them, that actually sounds good on the show because in that setting, it is true. All of that oppression talk, it's actually true in the times they live. So yeah, that conversation with this new guy, Luthen, was spot on. And yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of him being this anti-hero they describe in Rogue One. I mean, we saw the opening when he fought those guards and ended up accidentally killing one of them. But then he didn't want any loose ends, so he point blank shot the other one in the head. And a lot of people were shocked about this online, and I'm like, did you not see Rogue One? The guy's a scumbag. He's not a hero. He's not meant to be like this Jedi character or like Luke or like Han or no. He's supposed to be like that. He's ruthless.
Yep.
So yeah, I actually like the tone because it's very serious. There were no stupid jokes around. Most of the humor you see, it comes from situations, not from people making stupid jokes.
Like the
Production
droid?
value, like the droid,
Yes, I
yeah.
love the droid. I actually love.
Production value is really, really high. I mean, we come from Kenobi, which was supposed to be like the biggest show, given it was Kenobi, and we didn't get that, but we're getting it here. You can see that the sets don't look like sets; they actually look like locations. You can totally believe the scrapyard. You totally believe the planet he was living in originally. Those things with the tribe, that all works. I really like the flashbacks to his youth. I think what Sarayo mentioned about not being able to continue, I have gotten a lot of that from other people online. And I think that's due to the fact that the show is too slow. And
Yeah.
it's supposed to be slow, but it's slower than it should be.
Sorry, Aaron. I need a buddy. It's
Yeah.
not. It wasn't so much that it was slow, because the thing is that I don't mind things being a slow burn. But the thing is that I think it's a little bit of a case of we've been kind of conditioned by other shows that have been really slow burns to being wet noodles. But the thing is that this is just sort of from my viewpoint is that it's not so much the slow burn that was the problem. It was that I always felt like there was another episode missing. So it felt like episode 1 was episode 2, but they cut episode 1.
I sort of get that.
Yeah, I agree.
think
I was
did.
getting to that actually. Yeah.
Because I mean it was sort of like, you know, everyone was sort of like going, what was the planet that Andor was from?
Kenari.
Canary.
Yeah, it was sort of like, you know, the fact that he's a Canary is just big thing, and you know, it feels like everyone should know, like the Battle of Andor. You know, everyone knew the Battle of
Yeah.
Endor, so you didn't need to explain what happened at the Battle of Endor. You could just say Battle of Endor. It sort of had that exact same feeling to the Canary, but it's completely missing and lacking.
Which
I don't know. I don't know if it makes sense after you've watched episode 3 or not. But just in those first 2 episodes, it felt like there was something that I was missing because I hadn't watched something else.
Well, the reason for that, I want to believe, I don't know if this is going to be how it pans out, but from what it looks like and how the episodes played out, there's going to be plenty of flashbacks, though I don't feel like they're as intrusive as the Book of Boba Fett's flashbacks. But I have a feeling there's going to be plenty of flashbacks because there are still some scenes of clone troopers, you know, showing up. And there's scenes where Cassian's beard has been shaved. And the reason I say that one is significant is because the image that the police have is an older image of him without his beard. So that could lead us to believe that there's going to be more flashbacks showing more things. So in regards to you feeling like there should have been an episode before that, you might end up getting that in the way of flashbacks.
Yeah, but I mean the thing is that it needed to be in there for episodes 1 and 2.
I guess that what they are trying to do is to tell the story of young Cassian along the course of the show. So we might not get those revelations until about the end of.
But this is the same mistake they were made with Boba Fett.
Yeah.
This is the same mistake they made with Boba Fett. They're you know, you know, once everything about the Dancing with Tuscans sections of the Book of Boba Fett, everything made sense once you got to episode 4.
Yeah.
But the thing is that you needed everything to understand the rise of Boba Fett as the leader of the city. You needed everything from the Dancing of Tuscan episodes, or sorry, flashbacks before you got to the rise of Boba Fett sections of the story.
I agree. But I think the reason they're doing this, and I agree with you in that we should have been told that story beforehand, but they won't do it because the whole point of the whole political point of this show is immigration and people displacement. So they're going to play it very slow, giving you drops here and there to show what happened in Canary, because it's going to be about something like they must. I'm sure that the Empire were the ones responsible for the so-called mining accident, and it's going to be something like Avatar, like, oh yeah, they came, they took the resources of our land, they messed up the environment, and we all had to leave or got killed. They're going to do something like that because they already talked about this in interviews. They are playing the immigrant and displaced people angle. So I guess that's the
So,
reason they chose to do it that way.
so in other words, what you're saying is, politics is ruining the story again.
It might, yeah.
It might. Let's hope not, but it might. I mean, there's always that little nagging bit in the back of your head that'll tell you it is, you know.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, you know, this is the big problem when you're doing something like this. You're so hooked on sending in the message that you forget that, you know, a story needs to exist.
Oh, and we haven't gotten to the female imperial, and she has been talking trash about men in all her interviews. She keeps saying that her character is super cool because she's surrounded by incompetent men, and she's going to show them how to do things.
But
Sorry, are you talking about She-Hulk?
No, no, no. Yeah, it's actually very funny because it sounds like She-Hulk, but no, this is the female Imperial that will show up in Andor.
Ah. Dang it. Don't ruin the rest of the show for me now. I actually started enjoying it.
Well, I guess I'll have to see Bounty Hunter. No, just the comment that Bounty Hunter Network put in.
Oh, you mean once you watch episode 3, everything connects like poetry?
Yeah.
Seriously, I do recommend you watch the 3rd episode if you want to get the full effect of these 3 episodes.
Hang on. I'll leave that part when I do my deep dive. I'll let Chrono go back to his.
Yeah, and to wrap this up, I think from the 3rd episode, because the episodes 1 or 2 are pretty much just telling us where Cassian came from and his current situation. Like he was like kind of laying low in that other planet. But the other point that's interesting and that it could be very good or it could ruin the whole continuity, which is no surprise to us at this point. This Luthen guy who shows up to recruit him, they're kind of trying to make him like this big thing about the start of the rebellion. But by this point, as I recall, the rebellion was already underway. I mean, not as the rebellion we know, but things were already in motion. And they're trying to play it a bit like this guy is recruiting incredibly talented people to, like Cassian, to be able to boot this up. So it's either going to look really cool when this adds up and they show us the actual rebellion coming together, or it might just break canon for no reason.
That's
Well, I mean,
true.
the director did say something about that.
Like what was it?
Oh yeah, he said something like he
Like,
didn't care.
Yeah,
something.
don't. He doesn't give a shit about canon.
Oh, did he? Did he actually say that? You kidding
Yep.
me? What is with these directors, honestly, making dumb comments like that?
here's the thing. It's like I almost in some way wish like Lucasfilm would go all in with that, like canon doesn't matter, because then on the flip side, it's like, well, fine, your canon
True.
doesn't matter either. You know, it's like that's just all kind of Wild West, and just the audience is just going to decide what they like and don't like. But yeah,
But
there's
then again, that sort of destroys the idea of a franchise.
Well, I wouldn't say it would destroy it entirely. I mean, of course, you got like Marvel and stuff like that redoing the same story of this character or that character in a different way. DC doing the same thing. So I feel like in a way it's the same, but for a movie franchise, it might not work as good, I guess.
There are certain things like, I don't know, if I were running Lucasfilm, like, you know, I would try and do like, okay, we're gonna have one canon, but I think maybe for certain shows like or films like if I did a Kenobi series, I would I would just make a caveat. I'd be like, we're going to write this thing in such a way that if you want it in the canon, you can have it in the canon. But if you don't have to. It won't affect anything either way. Because it's like there are certain things where it's like certain questions that about whether you could have certain characters meet at certain points in a timeline that are so contentious, but I think they're kind of good faith arguments on
Mhm.
both sides of it
Yeah.
that I would try and write certain things in that way, have like kind of almost like a modular canon. Like you have a main canon, but there are pieces of it that if you want to add it to the furniture of the house of your head canon, you can, but you don't have to. And you don't need to. It's not like you'll miss out on something if you don't add it there. That means more work in terms of writing and figuring out how to do that.
Yeah.
But that's what I would.
I guess the issue I keep having with this, I mean, particularly at this point, the whole rebellion origins thing is that they keep doing it. They keep
They do
telling
keep
you
doing it.
they keep telling you this
Yep.
character was like super instrumental in the beginning of the rebellion, and then they go to another show and they tell you the same thing about another character. So it's like, who was it then? I mean, we saw Solo. It was like, oh yeah, Han didn't
You
know
get a
it.
rebellion. You get a rebellion.
Yeah, you get a rebellion. You get a rebellion. That's crazy.
Oh gosh, that's good. Everybody gets a rebellion.
Everyone gets to start the rebellion.
Yeah,
You
everybody
get a
does.
rebellion. You get to start it.
Yeah, everybody gets to start it. So I mean, it's like a participation. I can't speak. Participation trophy. That's
and,
it.
and that's the thing, that's fine because I think in reality, well, this isn't Star Wars is not real, but you know what I mean. Like if you have
Yeah.
this, this galaxy full of all these different planets, yeah, realistically, a rebellion would form. It would be like a bunch of different roots eventually forming kind of a trunk of a tree. You would have a bunch of different beginnings to a rebellion, but you just need to be careful with the writing not to kind of hype every single kind of root that forms as
Yeah.
the thing. So it's like,
Yep.
yeah, you can do that. I think just to kind of, if you overhype it or do it too much, then you can get people to just be kind of like,
Who cares?
out of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and actually, this is the case because if they are going to try and say that Cassian kind of started the rebellion again, then they would be undermining themselves because where do you leave Saw Gerrera? He's been fighting the fight longer than Cassian has.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, if you're going to call someone in that specific time period a starter of the rebellion, that would be Saw Gerrera, not Cassian Andor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He in the Bad Batch that makes it even more apparent because they are the Bad Batch was sent to wipe out Saw Gerrera before he can start anything, but they didn't. Therefore, he's still alive, and that was directly after Episode 3. So,
yeah, I mean,
Saw Gerrera has a
this
chance.
is all speculation. I mean, it could be, yeah, like they might hype him as some of the beginnings of the rebellion, but if they do it right and it doesn't feel like, oh yeah, he's the one that matters, everyone else doesn't. If they don't do that, it's okay. And if what they're planning to do is well executed, because I heard that the plan is to have 2 seasons, and the end of the second season is kind of the beginning of Rogue One, at least from Cassian perspective. I think that could work really good. That could be
Oh, yeah.
nice.
I do like that idea. The execution is what we got to worry about.
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
And
is that all
unfortunately, I don't think Lucasfilm has shown that they can do the execution.
Oh,
It at least seems they're being smarter with their money with this show.
Yeah.
I agree on that one.
Also, the writer is the same guy from Rogue One, so we can expect the writing to be good at least.
Got it.
Oh yeah.
It's been interesting. I was like, I've been kind of trying to find numbers on what the budget was per episode for this as opposed to Kenobi. Like I've read things that Kenobi was at least like 25 million per episode. And I think this one, it seems, more of, I've seen a range from 15 to 25. So, whatever they're doing, they're working with less money than Kenobi, but yet it's something that, just looks better.
Yeah.
And it's been
I do
interesting
agree.
to kind of, yeah, it's been interesting to read on Twitter, like kind of people trying to theorize where'd the money go with Kenobi. And some people suggested that it.
Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor.
That's probably where.
Likely, but then it begs the question, like, okay, like say if you need that much money to get them on board, okay, like couldn't you if I were directing that, I would just like talk to Lucasfilm and maybe have them talk to whatever higher ups they need to, like at Disney. It's like, couldn't you just siphon off some money from some other show and just give it to us so that we could put a little more, like there's only going to be one Kenobi show, like can you give us some of the money you've got in She-Hulk's budget or whatever? You're really not doing anything good
I
with
agree.
that at all. It's like it already looks awful, so I'd be like, just give that to us so we could like make this so even better, so we could actually afford to kind of de-age Hayden's face, like when
Yeah.
and once again, it's like I was fine with that. I'm fine with kind of suspending disbelief with that, but it's like when you see people on YouTube like able to kind of correct that,
Do better.
Yeah, it's like
It is. Yeah, I agree.
just get a 20 and hand it to a YouTuber and let them fix it up, like just,
But then they get their feelings hurt, like the guy who the AI that corrected Ariel and got banned.
Oh really?
Yeah, you didn't know that there was a Twitter profile that corrected the trailer for The Little Mermaid and turned Ariel white and with long hair instead of the braids, and they banned it for being racist because they got so offended that they changed it. And it
Wow.
looked really cool. It looked way better than what we got.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's scary.
I can imagine.
The point being, it's like it doesn't take that much, extra money to just maybe fix some things like that. And so yeah, I'm kind of wondering where'd the money go with Kenobi? Yeah, you have to sink a lot into the cast, but yeah, couldn't they have just gotten just siphoned off some of the She-Hulk money and just used it for that, and then it would have been better.
Well, see, that's what they should have done. They should have thrown the 20 to the YouTubers for She-Hulk.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know,
Though actually there was someone on Twitter that she pretty much said the video kind of started with a close-up of her face, and the tweet said that you didn't need to use CGI, you could have just got me. And she stands up and she's giant,
Oh
and
yeah, I saw that
all of
one.
her skin was painted green, and yeah, she looked like She-Hulk. You did not need, they could have done they could have done what they did in the 80s for the Hulk.
Yeah,
I just can't
everybody's
remember
saying
I
that.
can't remember the
Yeah,
wrestler's name.
Lou Ferrigno.
That's it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, why? I don't know. It's
Yeah,
just crazy.
in the case of Andor, yeah, production is on an entirely different level. You can tell in the smallest details, like the shipyard when he goes and talks to the guy who lets him borrow ships, turning a blind eye. The shipyard looked really cool, and this is the shipyard of a
It really
scrap
did.
mining town, and it looks
Mhm.
better than anything we saw in Kenobi.
That is sad too. Very sad.
The scrapyard looks so cool. It looks straight from out of the video game, the Cal Kestis video game, the Fallen
Oh
Order.
yeah, yeah, it does.
And scrap is one of the hardest things to do because you can totally tell when it's poorly done. Uh,
Yeah, actually,
True.
I have to agree
Hmm.
with that point.
Yep.
You kind of don't realize it when you're watching it, but when you just said that, you just sort of sit back and you go, actually, yeah, they did a really
Hmm.
good job with that.
They really did. And
yeah,
I noticed when I was watching the show that like the sets all looked really good. I'm like, what the heck did they do different this time?
yeah.
So there is a noticeable difference, and I am very glad they went that way.
The shots inside the ship when you see the flashbacks to the moment this woman takes him away because she fears they're gonna kill him.
Mm-hmm.
The inside of the ship, the consoles, the dials, everything in there is very, very reminiscent of the way these things looked in A New Hope.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
it's amazing how they actually match the ship designs, the interiors, everything they do. Like when he sees his reflection on the panel and all of that. There's none of that in Kenobi. None.
None. That is very true. There isn't any of that. Um. Anyway, now that we got. Is there? Do you got more to say about it, Chrono? Or
I think that that's it. I think we should move on to some other
yeah.
opinions.
All right, Commander Tano, your turn. No wait. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, given given that I didn't, um, given that I
I.
haven't, I forgot it was Sunday, and just I lost track of. Actually, this is worth talking about. I planned like, okay, I'm gonna watch it all Sunday before the stream. I forgot today was Sunday, and so therefore I haven't seen the episodes. I've seen plenty of spoilers or whatever, and I've seen clips and talk about all it. So
It's not your fault. It's the Benadryl.
exactly. um, and so where was I going with this? So yeah, the one thing that's kind of interesting is probably it's tied to why I probably forgot to watch the episodes. One thing is, unlike with like past Star Wars content where you know because of like who I follow or who follows me on Twitter, I don't have to like seek out discussions about it. I can just see them. They're just right there in my feed. They're there. Um, the, Andor, I've actually had to. Not it's not difficult, but I have had to like actually seek out opinions on it. Um, I just haven't seen as much talk about it, and that's yeah, and that's interesting. And I guess on the one hand, it's like not surprising because this isn't like a legacy character we're dealing with, but I don't know. I'm like you know
I've sort of noticed that myself though. Like on YouTube or anywhere else, you would see a bunch of people either complaining or praising, but with Andor, you don't see that much right now. Maybe it's
yeah.
just because the first three episodes don't give you a whole lot exactly. They just sort of create a prologue for the content for the rest of the series, like we've said earlier. But I sort of get that.
Yeah, and so yeah, it's weird that it's just kind of awfully quiet. And like, I was thinking, when's like the next significant Star Wars thing that's coming after this?
I think it's either Ahsoka or the Bad Batch season 2, or no wait, isn't Tales of the Jedi also coming out soon too?
Yeah, Tales of the Jedi is coming out soon. I don't know
Oh
the
man.
exact date, but yeah.
Well, if we're going to talk live action, I think Ahsoka is the next one.
Got
But animation wise, I think it's Tales of the Jedi.
Got it. Yeah, like, because I was thinking, like, there's not. It'll be interesting, uh, you know. It'll be interesting how like kind of financially sustainable this is,
Mm-hmm.
for Disney long term, because yeah, I could see people checking in to watch Ahsoka, but I think people who I think people who talk about Star Wars a lot forget that she's like a very I think a very niche character. Like just animation is just kind of a niche thing, that most people who like who don't really like they like Star Wars and they're familiar with it, but they're not like into it. Like they know who Kenobi is, they know who
Yeah.
Boba Fett is, and they may even like the kind of people who just go out and see movies. Though they may be familiar with they're familiar with Rogue One, and so they may ironically have more like kind of a there may be more of a point of connection with Andor versus any show that's kind of centered around a character that's kind of native to animated Star Wars. So that'll be really interesting. Kind of if we see more kind of discussion, news, hype, when by the time like say that show comes along. But yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
just kind of interesting how quiet things are.
Yeah, I like I said, I noticed that a bit too lately. It is a little bit quiet, but maybe when episode 4 comes out, that might change. That's what I'm assuming. Actually, real quick, I'm just going to take the prediction that episode 4 is going to start off with like a flashback.
A big one or a small one?
Well, it's probably going to be more of like a small one, I'd say, since the flashbacks seem to be sort of short when it comes to like Andor. They're sort of short, but there's quite a few. At least for these first 3 episodes, there's quite a few. But I think that once we get closer to the timeline that we're currently in, I believe the flashbacks will be fewer and further between. Though I don't know for sure because I'm not the one making the show, of course. But I think episode 4 is going to start off with a flashback. I mean,
It's
that's
a
how I would do
possibility.
it. I mean, because if well, no, if you think about it though, because like I can't exactly remember the. Oh wait, no, I remember the end, the how it exactly ended. Didn't it end, Chrono, with the police guys sort of looking like very devastated and furious at the end, and that's how the
Yeah,
episode ended. I feel like it could start off with a flashback in the next episode, and then they'll show us like the aftermath of all that stuff.
yeah. This guy is going to obsess over Cassian for the whole show until he either gives up, gets convinced that he's right, or he dies. This
Mm-hmm.
guy is going to be ruthless the whole time, and I actually liked his character because of how obsessive he is.
You mean ruthless until he gets smacked by his superior?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Well, I mean, he did go behind his superior's back though to
Yeah.
Yeah,
continue this
because
investigation.
I mean, the thing is that I can sort of understand why the superior was doing what he was doing, because it was just sort of like he understood how this was going to play. You know, these
Yep.
cops weren't doing the
Yeah.
right thing. They were in a place where they shouldn't be. You know, it's sort of one of those cases of, you know, you kind of hear it in other stories where the superior sort of goes, well, we kind of don't want to admit that they were at a brothel because then they would lose their family pensions, and let's just sweep this under the rug so, you know, the wives and child don't get thrown out. And then you have some idiot go, no, we need to find out what happened. And
Yeah.
the family loses all their benefits, and the guy ends up being a bad guy. Instead of the hero.
Yep.
Well, sorry, it depends on which side of the which perspective you're going to take. But it very much seems plot convenient rather than this is actually what would happen type situation. As in, you know, the characters have read the script and that's why that's why they're doing what they're doing, not
I mean, it's too soon to try to speculate about his motivations. We're still not seeing what. I mean, right now he comes off like this obsessive guy who I like order, so I'm going to pursue the guy who stole a pen from the office. So yeah, that's the kind of guy he seems to be right now. Maybe he does have a reason to be like that. We don't know. We might find out eventually. Maybe he's
uh,
there just to be a thorn in Cassian's side. We don't know.
yeah, no, I mean I completely understand it, but it just it feels like that character was put there for the sole reason to make the plot happen rather than that character would actually exist in a situation like that. Because, you know, that type of guy, you know, sort of sounds like he should be an Imperial officer, not a backwater cop.
Yeah, my guess is he might end up becoming an Imperial.
Yeah,
That's
but
what
I mean, the
I
thing
assume.
is that's that, you know, that's where I see him signing up, not signing up to be a backwater cop. So it's just sort of like a case of why is he there?
Well, the way I see him is, and this is very apparent because I was literally just watching Star Wars: The Clone Wars before I started the stream a little while ago. I was watching the Embara arc, and I saw him as Dogma basically, but in Andor instead. But this time he's getting more authority than what Dogma had. And also, Mr. Butt Kissing, blonde headed dude that's like always complimenting our
Yeah,
main villain here, at least main villain for the first 3 episodes. I think he makes it worse. I think he makes our main villain much worse.
yeah.
Like,
Actually, something that we didn't touch on when I was giving my perspective is that another thing I think works very well for them is the way this police force operates versus the way they as rebels and the town operate. I really
mm-hmm,
like how they portray these different aspects. Like the town is all colluded. They all know the funny business going behind the scenes, and they are all participants of it. They all help each other. That's very cool.
mm-hmm,
And the way the way it happens in the end when they escape, and the moment he realizes the blonde guy that, oh my God, we're surrounded and we don't know where they're coming from. And it's like you can see the fear, like, yeah, we're the ones trained with weapons, and we are so done if they actually decide to come at us. I really like how they portrayed that part because that is very reminiscent of the rebellion they painted in Rogue One.
Yep. I like it too, honestly. I really do. Well, before we continue on, did you have anything else to say, Commander Tano?
Not at present.
Okay, then. So, Soraya Way, since you're the only other person that didn't finish this, but you still got further than Commander Tano, so I'll commend you. Why don't you go ahead and give us some more of your thoughts? Because I know you gave us some already, but give us some more. We need more Soraya Way here.
You sure you want more?
Oh, sorry. I didn't ask you properly. Let me ask you properly. Where is it at? Where is it at? I've not done this before. I'm asking properly now.
Sigh.
There we go. On my side, it
Well,
wasn't
my
playing
my
out.
perspective on it, as I probably said before, was that it definitely felt like there was an episode cut in front, or there was meant to be this like tie-in episode on another show that you probably would have watched, and that helped it make a lot more sense. So far watching, it feels very off-brand to me. It really sort of doesn't feel like I'm watching a Star Wars show, even though there's a Star Wars character in it. It's and this is not, oh, you just can't handle anything that doesn't have lightsabers or anything like that. The best way I can put it is, it feels like a DC movie in the middle of the Infinity Saga. Feels like a DC movie in the middle of the Marvel Infinity Saga,
yeah, I get it.
where it's where it should be sort of like Guardians of the Galaxy.
I did get a Guardians of the Galaxy vibe from it a bit. Yes.
No,
So I'm
no,
not the
no.
only
But I
one.
mean,
Oh,
no,
okay.
no. But
You just-
what I'm trying to say is
I dare
that Guardians of the Galaxy is off. What's not off topic? It's off. It's kind of outside the brand, but it still ties into the Infinity Saga Marvel brand,
Mhm.
where having a DC movie in the middle of the Infinity Saga, it's just sort of like, that's that's not just outside of the brand, that's a completely different brand altogether.
Yeah,
True.
And
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
And that's the kind of feeling that I'm getting with Andor at the moment. You know, I like the fact that the planets that we're seeing don't feel like any of the other planets that we've sort of seen on film.
No sand, thank you.
Yeah, it's coarse, rough, and irritating, and it gets everywhere. Thank you.
It's it's something that absolutely should be commended, that they make these planets and it feels lived in, and
It's not some
it
random
feels like
animal creatures all over the place called Pisana.
yeah. But the thing is that they also don't feel, well, say, except for the corporate planet, I can't, where the cops are.
Yeah.
I just can't remember the name now. That planet definitely doesn't feel like it fits within the Star Wars galaxy when the planet that Andor was on does. And I think that's the sort of problem I'm kind of having right now. It's kind of trying to thread this all in, and there is just so much that it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
So it's making it really hard to sort of sit down and enjoy it. I was expecting a sort of out of brand Guardian of the Galaxy type thing, but it feels like it's just gone way too far. And it's just allowing too much cognitive dissonance to sort of permeate to make to sort of keep me engaged, I guess. And the part of the story that I got up to kind of didn't hold me enough to keep me there.
Yeah,
So
up to the point you watched, it's really hard to feel engaged.
yeah, and the thing is that if this was a completely new IP, you kind of give that leeway.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that it is an established IP, and with the track record from the IP, it doesn't have the space to do something like that.
Yeah.
So, as I was thinking about it before the stream, it feels like the right show at the wrong time.
Explain what you mean by that exactly.
Okay. It's great to explore something outside what we already know of Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that the fan base has taken so much crap that it doesn't. The creators don't have that space to work in.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I get it. I get what you mean now.
So, it's commendable that they've decided to do this, but the thing is that what the fan base need is something more familiar.
I think
mainly
that
because of just the absolute crap that was Boba Fett and Kenobi.
yes. I think also it's it's like what we've alluded to already. It's ironically with the fact that this show has improved in multiple categories over what people have already have seen. It's making I've seen it's even making people who enjoyed, say, Fett or Kenobi be like, wait, what? Why couldn't have we gotten more out of those shows than than what we got? And so yeah, it is I think it's a combo of it's a weird thing where it's like, I think in doing a better show, but albeit one that doesn't feel as much like, kind of the material that or stories we've gotten before. It's like kind of, I almost think Lucasfilm's kind of hurt itself in showing that it's like, kind of a whiff of what things could be and what they are capable of, but for some reason, they're just
We
not.
just haven't seen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, see, I mean, well, I shouldn't say haven't seen because we did see it. We saw it in Mando.
Yes, it's been a while at
True.
this point, though.
It's true.
But the thing is that Mando's the only point in their basket. Now, some people go, "Oh, but Bad Batch. Bad Batch was average. It was okay. It really didn't smash it out of the park."
And frankly, and once again, I like animated Star Wars, but it's like if they want to, the fact is, it's still niche in my view. Like if they want to, if you're just thinking strictly from a business standpoint, and Disney wants to succeed with this franchise, they need to make sure that their live action is up to snuff. And frankly, they should think about going back to the movie theaters. That's more economical. Now, the reason that they probably don't do that,
It's because there are no directors that want to work with Kathleen Kennedy.
Besides that, here's what, yes, I would think theaters are they're a better choice long term because, yeah, you can get a box office flop. That's true. You can definitely get that. But the thing is, if you just stream and you think about the number of minutes, hours of content that you've got to produce and all the money that goes into it, even when you're skimping, like what they clearly were doing with Boba Fett and Kenobi, even when you're skimping, those are expensive productions when over that amount of time. Whereas if you do a movie, it's like you can get a good return on that investment. But the trick is you gotta do a good job with it. And the other thing is, and I think this may be behind their motivation to not deal with theaters, is from a PR angle. If I'm just releasing things on my own streaming service, it's easier for me to hide what's a flop.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to hide that.
Well, until insiders leak the numbers.
Yes, exactly.
True.
Which only
thing
just
is-
makes it feel and sound worse.
It does, but the thing is, I would rather deal with that from a PR perspective because I would just say, oh, they're just lying, or oh, they're, because that's not a true leak, that lies, or it's really here, it's easier to kind of pretend. And once again, yeah, people can leak. There are other ways of kind of getting at those numbers, but it's just a little. I think in the minds of these people, it's easier to kind of mask failure by doing that, and it's also easier to, you can kind of subsidize failing shows with more successful ones. Although once again, it's like success in terms of a streaming service, it doesn't really seem to equal financial success. It's just that, people like it and say nice things about it, about a given show. Mandalorian's, to my knowledge, is like lost money, even though it's a good show, because they pour so much money into it, and they're hoping that in the long term they'll have enough subscribers to kind of make.
Actually, I don't think Mando lost money. I mean, in the show it did, but it definitely made up in merchandise.
That That could be. And I'm strictly talking about the show from that angle. That said, too,
But I mean, the thing is that
merchandise
that's
can only take you.
calculations. That's calculations that you know companies actually put into the calculations. It's not something
Yes,
that's outside of the calculations.
but then at that point, it's that. Say if that's the case, they're they're cranking out a whole bunch of other shows that aren't doing that with merchandise.
No,
Um, and so,
you
so
are
it's
right.
like,
And what are
um,
you going to sell from this show? Because Andor is, I mean, the show might be better quality than we have been getting, but the interest is not there. I have heard from a lot of people like, oh yeah, it looks okay, but I really don't care about Cassian.
well, and also it sounds like it's a show for adults.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah, I don't see kids getting excited for the Andor show or buying an action figure or whatever. I don't see that.
No,
It's like you already had Rogue One. So it's like, it's measure it by that, and you're gonna have fewer people buying stuff for Andor than they did for Rogue One, because Rogue One was at least more, to my understanding, kind of family friendly, if that makes sense, in terms of the audience it was trying to get. It was still mature, but it was, but yeah, there are a lot
and
of
there was
shows.
stuff you can merchandise.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
there definitely was. Um, but yeah, I don't see this show being as merchandisable, or whatever word there is for that. I don't have words. I'm just
I agree though. I mean, if it were me though, like, well, actually, no. Even as a kid, I don't know. If no, when I was a kid, I was crazy about Star Wars, so I probably would have been crazy about it no matter what. But see, the thing is, kids nowadays don't seem to care about Star Wars like we did when we were kids.
It's
And
Geez,
mainly
I wonder
grown-ups
why.
collecting things.
yeah, I mean, I I understand nowadays that you know that they don't have that interest anymore. I mean, the reason for that is like they tried to make it for kids, but like it also ruined the major fan base that was buying all the merchandise. The kids don't care about the toys, especially since the toys now seem to be low quality, anyways. Like
Very
when,
low quality.
when
Easier
I
to
was,
recycle.
well, yeah, that too. When I was, that's true. When I was a little kid, buying, I think like some of them are like $10 around where I'm at, and maybe they're a little higher than that. I've not looked at a Star Wars toy section forever. Not to say that there's much to show, because half the time it's empty, but not because they're buying it out. Um,
No,
but like
half the time it's full
no, like
of Rose
there's
Ticos
no.
and Admiral Hulk.
Okay, that's probably accurate. Not, I'm just talking about at the places I've been, it's been empty, but only because they don't get none of that stuff in, because there's not really much of a demand for it anymore. Uh, and the reason I say that is like the toys that they do have, there's no articulation. They're very much like just barely posable at all. They're low quality. They're small. They look awful, and I just go back thinking about the ones that I grew up buying, like when right before Star Wars: The Clone Wars came out, I was buying Star Wars figures and stuff like that. They had a lot of articulation points, like in the elbows, so you can bend the arms, in the shoulders, so you can actually make the shoulders go out instead of them being like just rotating on the side of the body to just point forward and hold a gun. So you can't really do anything with them. You can just make them point and shoot. But the legs can bend. The some figures, the legs would actually spread out rather than just be on that rotating track, like, or not track. What do you call that? Basically, they just rotate. The body would like be able to bend or twist or whatever, but now they're just
And
like,
shout.
well, yeah, yeah, and shout. I don't think that all of them I had could shout, but I know I had an R2D2 toy that actually played sounds.
Twisted and shouted.
But yeah, you can twist the head, and if you press the button, it'll do the classic R2D2 scream. So
Oh yeah, I
yeah,
have that one.
see, I'm not the only one. Okay,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, but they were higher quality back then. If you want a figure like that nowadays, you have to pay almost $20 for it.
Yeah.
And that's the weird thing. I remember buying Star Wars figures for like $4. The good ones. $4. Think about that. Yeah, I remember that. $4, they went up $7, and then went up to $10, and they went up to $20 if you want the good ones. But
Hey,
they had a bigger variety
you can
too.
still buy Star Wars figurines at $4. You just won't have that much of a choice.
that is very
You'll
true.
have a choice between Rose Tico and Admiral.
I knew you were going to make the joke, and I thought about taking it from you like you do mine half the time, but I decided to let you have it.
Oh, thank you.
I'm nice. But yeah, no, I've seen pictures and stuff and videos of Star Wars toy sections at certain points, and all there would be was either Rose Tico's, Admiral Holdo's, or there'd be nothing there because there's no demand. Because nobody buys the stuff anymore.
And what you say is actually very true. The quality is no longer there. Some of them look pretty, but if you consider them toys, I mean, if you were to get them for a kid to play with them, they are not fun to play with.
No.
There's the whole Mission Fleet line. I like it because they are kind of like semi SD characters, and I always like that aesthetic. But
Yep.
when I got to see what the product was actually offering, I really didn't like it. I was like, why should I pay this much for these toys that barely move an inch, and you can just like put them inside or on top of their vehicles and do nothing with them. Their coolest gimmick for $20 or $30 is that they fire a missile, and it's like, really?
Yeah.
That's all it does? I mean, what kid is going to be excited about that?
Maybe
The
one
ones that want to poke their sister's eyes out.
Also true. But seriously, kids nowadays, like I've seen a lot of toys, because I work at a retail store, but like I've seen a lot of toys in my time. I've seen them from growing up all the way up to now. I've seen the decay in quality that they used to come in. There's a lot of toys that used to be like really, really good. Like let me use Lego as an example. Back when I was really little, the Slave One, I bought it for $50. Well, I didn't buy it, but
we're not allowed to call him that anymore. We're not allowed to call it that.
Oh, sorry, the Fire Spray. Do I need to call it by its official new name because the word slaves?
Sorry, what's his fire spray? I've never heard of it.
I know. I ain't heard of it either. The Slave One. I'm gonna call it what it is. But when I bought the Lego Slave One back when I was little, I can't remember exactly which version. I'm going to look it up and find out. So I'll come up with that in just a second. But looking at it, it was huge. It was huge, and it came with a bunch of figures. Little mini figures, and it had a bunch of functions and stuff like that. If you buy the current Boba Fett starship or whatever, or I don't know what they call it on the thing, it's tiny, and it doesn't come with much. I think they use less pieces to build it, and I'm just thinking like Lego has really went downhill because even like the only good sets they have now are like the collector's sets that are made to be like really, really nice, but they are like super expensive too. So
I guess the reason they went that route is precisely because they realized they couldn't sell a lot of the other ones. I mean, the prices were too high for a toy. I mean, if you want to play with it, to give it to a kid to put it together, yeah, he will enjoy it, but most parents will not spend that much on a toy. And unless you're a collector, and this is they have understood that they can separate the collectors from the kids, and they can charge collectors a lot more, and they will still pay
Yep.
Well, they used to be able to charge collectors a lot, and they would still pay it.
it.
Collectors are wising up and just like going, yeah, we're not going to pay for this crap.
Yeah, Hasbro is learning that the hard way with Haslam.
Yep. I mean, they thought, oh, collectors will get this Reaver lightsaber.
And that didn't work out.
No. And actually, I think the numbers were actually even worse than what they actually had on the screen. Because I think I remember someone sort of stating that it pretty much started with 100 orders straight off the bat. So I think it
Found
like got
Not surprised.
35 orders or something like that. But
Yeah.
I can't remember precisely the number. But sort of the how many sales were there? Just gonna quickly look it up.
How much
When I
was
don't
that?
While you're
accident-
doing that,
300 or something.
Oh, yeah. I bet they were like probably like blaming it on inflation or something. It's like, sorry, like it doesn't matter if we had like no inflation whatsoever in past
Yeah.
year. It doesn't matter. No one's going to pay that for that. Like, for
Yeah,
plastic.
you could buy groceries or a lightsaber. Those are the choices.
Yeah. But yeah,
And I mean,
it's-
the funny thing was that I think for the exact same price, you could get an off-brand lightsaber with all of the bells and whistles and make it look like that lightsaber.
that was it right there.
Um,
By the way, that's the one I bought, or I got like forever ago. It came with Han Solo and Carbonite. It had the IG-88 Dengar, the Bespin Guard, which I somehow lost, and I don't know how I lost him, but I lost him. Don't know how.
Aw.
And Boba Fett. This thing was huge, as you can tell. It's big compared to the one that they got now. Give me a second, and I'll let me undo this.
Yeah, but that one is promoting slavery, so
Well, they literally did call it the Slave One on the box. So I mean, but hold on, let me bring that back up real quick. I want to show that because I love how they didn't care back then, but they do now. Where'd it go? It was right here. Oh wait, I need to bring this back up. Okay, and see right there. Oh wait, never mind. You can't see it.
nope.
Now
no,
you
I
can.
finally
There you go.
Now we can.
I
Right
finally
there.
got the numbers. I finally got the numbers again. It had 1,336 backers, and from some reports, they actually said that it started straight off the bat with 1,000 backers. So even though it says 1,300, it looks like there was only 336 backers.
Yeah, it's
Which-
it's very likely those 1,000 were like seed orders to make it look good.
Yep. And I mean, it's a common tactic. I mean, even panhandlers will do that. They'll throw in a few coins into their hats and all that, so it looks like people have donated to them. So people are more inclined to actually,
Yep.
give them money.
Yeah, the tactic itself it's not bad, but it just makes it worse when you subtract.
Fail.
So, yeah,
Oh gosh.
Um,
So back to the slave one real quick because I'm looking at another image and I'm going to show it to you in just a second. Let me just screenshot that here. I want to show it to you in the hands of a kid, and maybe I can get an image of the other one in the hands of another kid. This is going. I'm taking the screenshot and sending it in the Discord, basically,
Why don't you?
because it's on my phone. I'm not doing it on
Oh,
my
okay.
computer.
You're sending it to Discord so you can then put it up on the screen.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay.
Exactly.
But
Why
I'm
go through all the trouble? Don't you have like that Tony Stark technology that you just slide things in the air and they appear?
just aim it towards the screen.
Yeah.
Aim it towards the screen. Yeah, that should do it.
But hey, I'll finish up my perspective while you're doing that on Andor. I've now lost where I was going. I've gone so off topic, it's not funny. But hang on, what else is new?
Fair enough.
It almost feels like a show that probably should be binged and not watched weekly.
Oh, why didn't I do this before? Oh my gosh. Sorry.
I don't know.
I agree with what you just said. I do think it would benefit the show if you could just watch it back to back from beginning to end instead of weekly.
Yeah. See, I mean, the thing is that Mando worked as a weekly show.
Yeah.
So just from what I've been getting off Andor, it feels like this is something that should have been just binged in a week type situation. And it's actually, I would also probably say that that's the same with the Book of Boba Fett. It really should be something that should have been binged all of the episodes rather than watching it week upon week. Mainly because you needed to find out. Well, in these 3 episodes, from the sound of it, you need to watch episode 3 to make sense of episode 1 and 2. At this present moment, I don't exactly hate what I'm seeing, but I'm not exactly loving what I'm seeing. It's kind of just a meh. And yet again, this might just be due to the fact that we've been sort of trained into thinking this way because of the other Lucasfilm material.
All right. So, real quick, let me explain how this slave one that I've got on here works. Okay. Basically, you flip it up to its like flying position. These things automatically, stay level. So, as you can barely see right here, Boba Fett is like sort of at a diagonal position, but that's because the ship is at an angle. He's going to try to stay balanced to as the ship turns itself. Okay, it had these compartments open up, and I think there was like little missiles or something like that were in it. I can't remember how that worked. It's been so long. This part would open up right here, and you can put the Han Solo in carbonite. These things rotated and moved. It was really nice, and you see how big it is compared to the minifigure right here. It's hard to see it, but you can tell how big it is compared to that. Okay, so there's that.
Maybe Bounty Hunter would know this.
I mean, you never know. He might. Let me bring up exhibit number 2. That's number 1. Here's number 2. Okay. See how big Mando is compared to this? Look how tiny
Oh
this
dear
is.
God.
Look at this. Look at Boba Fett in the cockpit part. This part you rotate yourself, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that doesn't look right.
It baffles me too, because apparently it is, as you can see right here, 593 pieces as opposed to I think 537 pieces that the original one is, but this one is smaller and less creative looking honestly.
Maybe it's a big case of they just needed to make it travel size and actually fit it in kids' hands.
Well, I don't think it needs to be travel sized. All right, you're not really supposed to run around with a big Lego starship anywhere with you, anyways. Because what happens if you
Yeah,
drop
because
it
what kid
outside?
would run around with a ship?
Okay, look, I'm talking about like out anywhere other
You-
than home.
So
Because at least,
Ray, you have to consider that you're trying to explain that to a person who likes to murder children. So
Oh, yeah, sorry.
oh gosh, look, it's a pastime. Don't judge me, okay? Okay, anyways, now that I got that off my chest, I just wanted to compare how things have went down in quality as opposed to what I used to have. Um, but I mean, I know I'm still stuck on the merchandising thing, but you can tell right there that they don't make them like they used to.
no, they don't.
And I don't think I think that's why they don't do as much Star Wars merchandising nowadays is because what they do is cheap, but nobody buys it anyway. And the
Actually,
people,
there's also the issue that Hasbro has been kind of not playing along with with Star Wars lately. They have rejected many projects because they don't feel they will get a return on their investment if they actually put out a lot of Star Wars product.
well, exactly. And I mean, Disney has given us ample reason not to, buy anything because they're
Yeah.
not giving us anything to be interested in.
Someone posted some time ago a list of properties that they explicitly said that they wouldn't make toys of. Characters like Rose Tico and Holdo and those, they kind of already told Disney and Lucasfilm that we're not going to make toys for this and this and this stuff because it won't sell.
And I think that's part of the reason why they made Rose Tico's character so minuscule in the final movie of the I won't mention saga because I'm not mentioning it. Um, her character was just awful from beginning to end, and nobody liked her. And her actress seems to use that and try to make it sound like she's the victim. So I personally
Yeah,
don't like the actress that much for that very reason.
Really?
But
I didn't think she did that. Must be
she had like this.
misremembering.
Well, there was this big situation where she got off social media or something like that because she was being bullied because of the character she played, apparently. And then she comes back and acting like she's embracing her race and whatever, and that she's proud to be what she is. And
yeah.
she
Oh, okay.
When she returned
yeah,
for Raya, they made a huge fuss about it. Like, oh, she's showing all the trolls that ganged up on her on social media, and Raya
Yeah, but I
tanked.
mean, did she
It's
do that,
going.
or was that the media?
She
well,
didn't exactly go against the fans or anything, but she kind of endorsed playing the victim
yeah,
a little
and I
bit.
think she said that she doesn't use her actual name. Like Kelly Marie Tran isn't supposed to be her actual name. She's like got this other name that she's embracing now because she wants to show people that it's not something to be afraid of to be a different race and have a difficult name to pronounce or something. I don't know. I could be completely misremembering that part, but I do remember the whole debacle with her on the social media thing. But
Yeah.
the name thing, I'm positive I heard that somewhere, but whether it's true or not, I'm not 100%. But I'm not going to say that's exactly what happened with that part, but I will say the social media thing is true.
And race was never the problem. I mean, no one hated Rose Tico because she was Asian. We hated Rose Tico because she was annoying.
She was an
Because I mean,
awful
let's
character.
face it. We're talking about Star Wars fans here. Most of them are geeks. Most of them probably also watch anime, and most of them also have yellow fever. So it's definitely not the race problem.
Yeah, but apparently we're the most racist people on earth because
How come no
we
one was
complain.
complaining about Fennec Shand? How come no one was complaining about that character.
Well, see, that gives me the same energy as saying, why don't we complain about Ahsoka? I mean, we used to apparently, but that's went away. Ahsoka is one of the most beloved characters in Star Wars now. So now it's
No,
like,
no,
why are
no.
you comparing these characters to
the
Ahsoka?
the the reason why no one had a problem with Fennec Shan was because it was Ming Na Wen.
Yep.
How could you hate her?
Yep.
There's no way in hell.
I mean, she's awesome. She's very awesome.
And actually, it's very funny with the Ahsoka situation, because if you take the all fans are racist narrative that they are trying to push, and then apply it to Rosario Dawson, and it's like, yeah, we're so racist. Everyone praised Rosario Dawson for being Ahsoka.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I never saw one comment saying, "Oh no, she should have been played by a white woman."
No,
No,
they
I
did.
would rather not.
They did. Sorry. They there was a few people that wanted oh God, I can't think of her name now.
Ashley Eckstein? Or are you
That's
talking
it.
about like a different? Oh, okay.
Yeah, the voice actress.
But it wasn't because of race. It was that I know that I remember that petition, but that was because they hated Rosario Dawson for the trans thing. The
No, more.
Oh yeah,
and
Yeah, that one.
it would have been cool to have the voice actress do the character.
Yeah. See, I was concerned at first, but I never once thought that she would be bad. I really didn't want to move away from Ashley Eckstein's Ahsoka, and I was thinking maybe they'd pull a Darth Maul and voice over her with Ashley Eckstein's voice, but they didn't. And honestly, I'm happy about it, because the Ahsoka we got, the voice suits her.
Yeah.
And Rosario Dawson does an
Especially,
amazing job.
and we've also got to remember that we are talking about how old would Ahsoka be?
Yeah.
We're not talking, we're not having a spring chicken here.
Yeah, when they announced the casting, I mean, I'm a fan of Rosario Dawson's work, so I wasn't put off by the news, but also I was thinking, like, this is going to be adult Ahsoka, not the one we're used to seeing. So it makes sense for a woman like Rosario Dawson to play the character. And when we saw her in the show, I was like, yeah, that's the way I would picture Ahsoka being a grown up.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And honestly, like if and I'm not trying to like stereotype black people or anything, but she has a lot of features that are similar to somebody that is black or whatever, so to put a white actress on that would probably not look like Ahsoka as much
Absolutely.
as Rosario
Yeah.
Dawson does. I can't say words today either.
Actually, another thing is that you probably need someone with Rosario Dawson's facial features to actually try to emulate what we have come to expect from Ahsoka. There's one shot in particular when she crosses the lightsabers on her back to cut the ropes, and the way she looks back and winks an eye, like being kind of funny towards the situation. That's very Ahsoka right there, and I don't think I mean, I can't think of another actress who could pull that off to make us feel like it's her.
Exactly. So I don't know where they think Star Wars fans are racist, but I'm hearing tons of praise right now. So actually,
because they're all racist. Everyone is racist, and you've got to point it all out.
see, that's why you don't make a franchise political. It's just there for entertainment. This is why you don't do that, because now, no matter how you want to discuss Star Wars, something political will come up. And it's not because we want it to, it's because of what, we've been given this entire time. And we feel like now we have to defend ourselves against these people saying that we are either racist, sexist, or whatever, which not everybody has to defend themselves. I mean, I don't feel like I have to defend myself, but I want to clarify that no.
Well, what do
It's
you
not
mean
that
you
way.
don't have to defend yourself? You're a straight white male. Of course you have to.
Damn it, you
Okay,
beat me
look.
to that, Chrono.
Dang it. Dang it, you're right. I'm white and I'm male. I don't know if I can host this show anymore. You know what? I'll let either the Mary Sue or my minority friend take care of this. You know what? I'm nah, nah, this is my show. That's a very white thing to say, isn't it?
Yes, please.
Oh
Yes,
well. I'll
my.
embrace it. I'll embrace it. I mean, but seriously though, like it we have to defend our views because it don't line up with the mainstream ones, And I'm talking about Star Wars wise.
Yeah.
Because apparently the people that are, that defend it
It, it,
nowadays
it,
are the right people, not us.
it doesn't line up with the resistance. The resistance that has every mainstream and establishment viewpoint that ever exists.
Yeah.
Yep.
But somehow we need to resist and
Yeah.
rebel.
They are so oppressed
Yeah.
when they have the whole media apparatus behind them. Yeah.
Yep.
Media apparatus, education apparatus, uh, government. Yeah.
Yeah, that
And right now we're seeing the whole situation with Ariel and Halle Bailey, and I really it really laughed at all the posts, but because the backlash has been so, I really didn't expect it. I thought it would be divisive, but I didn't think it would be like this overwhelmingly negative for them, and and I'm glad to see it.
I am too, and it's not because of the actress. I mean, she probably does a good
Uh,
job acting. I don't know her. I don't think I've watched her in anything, so I'm just going to assume she's a good actress. I mean, that might be a bad thing. I don't know, but
Generally, yeah.
well, I mean, I'm not going to say anything about her acting ability due to the fact that I've not watched her. But the thing is, what would happen if we switched out Tiana, from Princess and the Frog with somebody else, like somebody that's white or something like that, or made her Asian?
Racism!
Well, actually,
yeah,
no, we'll stick with white because if we go the Asian route, they'll be like, "Oh, Asian lives matter. You're hating Asians now."
yeah,
No, they would still call it racism.
Well, true enough.
Because Asians are white adjacent or something like that.
True.
So I'd imagine that taken clipped out of context.
yeah.
But yeah.
Oh
What if they
well.
switched out Tiana with a white woman? Or you know what? You remember that white girl in the show? What if they switched her out with Tiana? Think about that for a second. The crazy southern blonde girl lady being the main character rather than Tiana.
Yeah.
What do you think the people would do then? I mean, because apparently it's okay to switch out a established white character and change her to black, but it's not okay to switch a black character and change them to white, or replace them with a different white character in general. I just think
Yeah,
that
no,
it's a bit hypocritical.
I mean, the thing is that you just have to look at the Netflix Cowboy Bebop.
Oh please.
They
Yeah.
they switched out a white character with an Asian, and then switched out an Asian character with, okay, I think she's meant to be Latina, but frankly she
Oh
looked
yeah.
white as a bed sheet. But they needed to get Asian representation, so they swapped out a white character for an Asian character, but swapped out an Asian character for, yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But see,
It's rules for thee, but not for me.
yeah, exactly. I mean, they changed Jet. Now, this is one of the situations where it works because he does good at his character, and honestly, I like the actor playing him.
And too bad they didn't know how to write the character because they made him a
deadbeat dad.
deadbeat dad. Yeah.
See, I didn't like that either. But as far as like getting the character and his personality down, they did get that decent. I would assume.
No.
At
He
least
got
from
that.
the
He got
episode
that
I
down
watched.
decently. They screwed it up.
Okay, you know what I mean. I'm talking about like just him and Spike's relationship. They sort of got that right. The way he acts during those scenes and stuff. They got that right. The actor did good, but it's
No, I still disagree with you. But continue.
okay. Anyway, well, look, I've only watched like one episode of it, thanks to you. I couldn't watch anything else after that. After I saw Farquaad Vicious, I just couldn't do it anymore. I'm serious. I couldn't. It killed me when I seen Vicious like that. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is you got Jet as one example of good acting. Even though his character was originally white, he makes it work. And another example is Jim Gordon from the Batman movie that recently came out, I think like last year. He was black, but he did such a good job at portraying Jim Gordon, nobody cared. And I mean, I didn't care. At first, I don't know, this might make me sound racist. I don't know. At first, it worried me because I guess maybe it's just with the track record of movies lately. When they race swap a character, they usually just do it to get the diversity points rather than write the character good. That's what I was worried about. Not because he was race swapped, but because, I was afraid that the character
Track record.
Yes, the track record. But I was pleasantly disappointed. Pleasantly, yes. And
hang on,
wait,
disappointed?
Pleasantly.
Yeah.
No, that's right. That came out really wrong. I was proven wrong in a good way. Okay,
you were pleasantly surprised.
Yes, pleasantly surprised. That's it. Oh my gosh! I told you I can't talk at all today. Pleasantly disappointed. Wow, that. Oh gosh. If anybody takes that out of context,
that's a new shirt.
I thought Commander Chano was the one who was on drugs.
Pleasantly disappointed. That is a good shirt. Like saying
Wait,
phrase.
what? I heard my name. I just got back from doing women's work.
Your name's pleasantly disappointed?
I was just telling him that I thought you were the one on drugs because he was just mumbling some stuff and it didn't come out right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. See, me and Commander Tono are kindred spirits today. We can't speak, okay?
Yeah.
So
yeah, but she's on Benadryl.
What?
But she's on Benadryl. What's your excuse?
I have a headache. I'm dead serious about that one, though. I do have a headache, and I can't function well when I have a headache. But I'm doing the stream anyway because I'm dedicated. But anyways, I was pleasantly surprised with how his character panned out in that movie. And it's just another example of it doesn't matter what race or gender they are, as long as they play the character well, that's all that matters. But the thing is, we know why Disney does it, and that's what the problem is. DC, it's sort of just a thing, you can either be very disappointed with the movie or you can be very happy with it because lately not all their movies have been very great in my opinion.
See,
go ahead.
No, see the thing that made actually me worried about the casting of James Gordon is I don't know. I think I just can't get past Gary Oldman doing it.
Well, I didn't have a problem with it. I thought he did good, but
I haven't seen it. But I mean, it's just sort of one of those sort of situations of it's very much sort of like Heath Ledger and the Joker. Can you honestly see anyone else doing the Joker now?
Well, I mean, Mark Hamill.
But he's just
Live
the boy.
action. I'm talking about
Yeah.
live action.
Yeah, he's
Hey,
talking
Mark
about.
Hamill could probably have done a live action if he had, if he was younger, he probably could have done
Well, he kind of did when he played the prankster. That was kind of another Joker.
it.
Hmm.
That's funny. But really, I mean, honestly though, if they do it right, he probably still could play a live action Joker. But I mean,
Probably could, yeah.
that's that would be actually really nice to see. I'd love to see that.
It would. You would kind of have to see how he moves. Because I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think we want an old man Joker.
Well, that doesn't mean they have to have him in all the action shots if that's the case.
No, we need
I
to
mean,
see him
that's
doing
what a stunt
every
double is for.
stunt, he's got to do everything.
Oh, so no stunt double? Okay, Mark Hamill. You got to dedicate yourself for this one.
I mean, if Tom Cruise will leap off a plane, Mark Hamill has to play the Joker. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Oh gosh. Well, I mean, it still would be nice though. I would love to at least see what he would look like and see him actually voicing the Joker as he, in that look. It would be really nice. I would like that. I mean, if anything else, just get somebody that looks like the Joker but also fits the voice of his Joker and have them voice over it, or have Mark Hamill voice over it, like Darth Mullet, just Darth Mullet. I mean, it can work.
Actually, in regards to that kind of situation, did you hear about James Earl Jones?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
We'll
That
make
was
this
sad.
Yeah, it is sad. I guess this will be our final topic of discussion because that's something we do need to talk about.
Yeah.
James Earl Jones, man. They say that they're going to use an AI, some sort of generator thing, to be able to generate Darth Vader's voice if they ever use it again. Which I don't know how that works without having the voice actor themselves. Now, I did notice, like we'll use Kenobi for example, that his voice sounded much more akin to the Star Wars Episode 4 voice of Darth Vader in the Kenobi show. And I think it was using that technology, but
Yep.
I feel like they also had James Earl Jones there at the time because he hadn't retired at that point yet.
I heard that he wasn't on set. Period.
Well, I mean, he's a voice actor.
It was all artificial.
Really?
Mhm.
Yeah, he's credited because his voice was used for sampling, but he's not really doing the lines.
Huh. So it was all audio or auto-generated, AI generated, whatever. Artificially generated, that's it.
And it was and it wasn't so much, well, sorry, from what I've heard, it wasn't so much a he didn't want to do it, it's they didn't want him to do it.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Is it because of his age, or like what is it?
No, because of his voting preference.
Oh, is that so?
Mm-hmm.
Ah. See, the thing is,
That's
though,
crazy.
that is crazy.
Oh,
But the thing-
absolutely. But I mean, this is my Lucasfilm.
The classic Kathleen Kennedy voice. I love it.
Well, it's been the first time I had an option to use it.
That's also true. Honestly, I mean, this has been a more positive stream though than we've had lately for these Star Wars shows. I was sort of expecting more.
Well, because the thing is that
Well, for starters,
Andor proved a little bit more positive than Kenobi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, you went. Somehow, you guys found Kenobi to be entertaining.
I mean, if it
where,
weren't for
you know,
Reba, it'd been like a 10 out of 10 almost. I'm just kidding.
yeah, good.
I just wanted to trigger you.
Where Andor, you know, it's it has its problems, but the thing is that I think collectively our thoughts are sort of being a case of positive to neutral to just sort of, well,
Yeah.
positive to I just want to you know, see more where it goes before I drop the sort of Damocles over its head. Uh, um,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, for me, there were very few negatives, but
That's
there just
crazy.
was not many positives. And you know, from the sound of it, it's probably because I dropped out halfway through.
That's also probably true. Well, whenever you get the chance, finish it. At least
Yeah.
finish all 3 episodes. Then gauge your opinion towards that.
Yeah. And you know, I mean, like I said earlier, it's not that it's not like, oh my god, I'm switching this off and never watching it again. No, it's just a more of a case of uh, so
meh.
you know, it's just an overload of meh.
Meh. Okay.
So yeah, I mean, eventually I probably will finish it. And I won't need alcohol.
I mean, that's a plus right there.
Yeah, that's a positive. You will not need alcohol to finish this, unlike Kenobi.
I don't know if I'll be able to use my little intro to the dark side with Sorry Away right here anymore. Oh no.
Don't worry. Don't worry. Lucasfilm will do something that
They will always provide.
Oh,
yeah, they will
okay,
always
that's
provide
true.
material.
That's true. I don't know if they actually start to improve
That's
their
actually true.
quality.
They may not always provide.
They might actually get serious. This whole like political phase of Star Wars might end soon. You never know.
Oh, see, I was thinking a totally different thing. I was thinking like that they just won't produce content at some point.
Well, see, I'm going the positive route. You're going well, I guess it could be also considered a positive route depending on the outcome of the Okay, never mind. We're both positive.
Yeah.
Well, anyway.
Happy
Positivity all
vibes.
around.
Happy vibes.
You get positivity.
Love.
You get positivity.
Wind.
Seriously though, what are they going to do? You know. Okay, so if Mando season 3, I don't. I guess theoretically it could get more views than season 2, but I don't see how that's possible. It's just a show like this. It's like it's got its audience set, and it only can decline, or maybe maintain at best. But you know what I mean? Like, so what are they eventually going to do? Like,
well,
because they've kind of.
I want to believe that. I mean, because the episodes with Mandalorian in it were the best parts of the Book of Boba Fett. I feel like they can like change the style of the show slightly, because now it's not like it's not going to be like trying to get Grogu back to his kind. It's now going to be trying to, I would assume, find the whatever that place was underneath the city of Mandalore or whatever. What was that called again? I can't remember. To become a Mandalorian again. You know, he's going on a quest to make himself a Mandalorian once again.
You mean a character from a Disney property is going to find himself? We haven't seen that.
Okay, you know what? I'm just saying. Okay, I'm just saying. You don't have to be right all the time, Chrono. You know that?
Of course I am. I'm a minority. I'm always right.
And that's why you're my friend. Okay.
Chrono will
Okay.
always have the right opinions, even if
Yeah.
he's saying the sky is red.
Hey, you never know. Someday the sky
He
could
doesn't
turn
have the X though. It's the X factor that's missing, and I just think. See, I'm
Well,
trying to not say that word. You know, but
yeah, because I'd have to
That's
censor
because
you.
it's a slur.
Yeah,
You can
I'd have to censor you.
you can try what Clownfish TV does. You can say La Tinkerbell.
La Tinkerbell.
Yeah, that's what they say because they don't want to use it either.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't like that term. Like it don't make sense. Isn't Spanish sort of like I only
A
know a little.
gendered language.
Spanish is a gendered
Yeah.
language, and the X at the end, it doesn't make sense in pronunciation.
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't they have to change the whole language around a bit in order to uh, you know,
Oh,
I
they are
love
trying to. Yeah.
I
that's
love the
insane.
meme. I love the meme. You've probably seen it. The one where it's like someone tries to put in non-binary into Google Translate, and it comes out as either like it comes out as two forms with an O and an A at the end. It comes with a binary translation for Spanish.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that one.
Do you mean Latino or Latina?
It's like, do you mean like non-binary? It comes out as like non-binaria or non-binaria. It's like,
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. See, the reason why I was saying that is because like I took some Spanish in high school like forever ago, and I can remember some of it, but I do remember one thing. It was gendered: O for male, A for female.
Yeah.
Right, right.
A
So
lot of the is it romantic languages?
yes, or romance
Um,
languages. Yep.
yeah, they are gendered.
so you'd have to restructure your whole language in order
Language.
to conform to these new ideas that they want to push.
French, Italian, and Spanish, both gendered languages. And the funny thing is that I don't know about Spanish or Italian because I haven't studied it. I have studied French, but the thing is that when it sort of comes to the French, it's more the sound rather than the object.
Mhm.
Because the thing is that beer, I can't remember how to pronounce it in French, but that is considered a feminine word.
Oh, really?
And you don't exactly associate beer with female or feminine. Sorry, I should say feminine,
Oh.
not female.
Yeah. They have this thing with the feminine words, like for example, error or mistake. It's a feminine word in French, and it's like if you were to apply 2022 standards, you would immediately go like, oh, they're misogynists and they're considering women errors.
Oh no.
Hey, no, I'm not going to say that.
You were about to get this canceled, weren't you? Oh no. Oh no. I'm going to get canceled. Oh well. Cancel me if you want. I don't care. I don't know. Anyways.
We'll just go to Twitch. Oh wait,
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one.
Hey! I mean, who knows? I think Twitch's standards might be dropping. I mean, you can quite literally have sex on stream and stream it.
That is pathetic.
and,
Isn't
and
there
you get
websites made
promoted
for
for it.
that? Isn't there websites made for that?
Yeah,
Oh, there's plenty, but you know, we've got to be inclusive.
Oh, inclusive.
Twitch has got to be
Okay.
inclusive.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we'll overlook obvious violations in order to be inclusive. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyways, we're going to end with that one. What a way to end the stream. What a way to end it. Anyways, I've almost forgotten how to end a stream. You know that? We're just going to,
Your mind's
end it,
still blown on
Yeah, it
Twitch
really
becoming
is.
Pornhub.
Yeah, I'm quite literally amazed. Actually, real quick, I seen a video today of a streamer that was told to look up a certain streamer who was like almost all like half naked. And I'm like, what the heck? That's allowed on Twitch? And then the guy's like, apparently this is okay. And I'm just thinking like, what the heck are these people thinking they can do on this platform? Are they just pushing the boundaries, or just to see how far they can get away with it, or do they honestly believe that it's okay to do that on a platform such as Twitch? I think that there is websites made for that, and you should go to that instead. Not use a platform such as Twitch to do so.
Yeah, but the thing is that if they go to those websites, then they sort of have this stigma. But if they're a Twitch streamer that does body painting streams, that's okay.
Yeah.
I guess they don't want to be labeled a sex worker or something like that. Is that what?
Pretty
it is?
much.
Okay.
That's probably the thought process.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? Just it is what it is. You're just trying to hide it. That's all that there is to it.
See, that's the
Anyway.
answer to many of your
How
troubles.
did this topic?
You already have a Twitch channel.
How did we get to this? What the heck?
This is a family-friendly channel.
Family friendly.
Oh,
Well, to be fair,
well,
today
then I
don't
bloody
want
should get off it.
Oh gosh.
We may allow child murder and Australians on this show, but we still have standards.
That's where we draw the line.
Yes, we still have some standards, okay? Remember that. Well, you know what? I think that was a better way to end the stream. I think that was better. Yeah, instead of, you know what? I'm not going back to it because we'll just go back to it. We're just going to go ahead and end it here. So,
Good idea.
Yeah. I've completely forgotten how to do the outro, so I'm just going to go ahead and play the outro if that's fine. I mean, it's totally fine. I'm the host here. It's nice streaming with you guys today. Oh yeah, I remember now. It hits me right as I'm about to hit the button. So, oh, dang it, I forgot.
Discord,
yes, that's how I do it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Guess what? We have a Discord. We have a Discord in the description below. You just go down there, you click on the link. You should be able to join it. It's fun-ish. It's it's fun. It's fun.
Don't oversell it, please.
It's an amazing place. It's so wonderful. I don't know how else to describe it.
Come for unfiltered Force Collective material.
That's all coming from Soraya Way, though. I'm pretty much the most filtered person.
Come on. When am I ever unfiltered? Or filtered, sorry, whenever.
If I were to say, Soraya Way, it is time for you to go completely unfiltered, and then we'd hear quite a few things.
Yeah, no, that's true. I do forget that I do need to speak international English while on stream. I'm not speaking Australian.
Yeah, no, Australian isn't a language we speak here, okay? You gotta remember that.
And then you're being generous. It's American English. We are prudes.
I
Like,
mean, true enough. True enough. Anyways, back to the Discord. It's a wonderful place. You should join it. I also got links to my Twitter, I think. Yes. I almost forgotten what I put in the description. And I also have a link to the playlist with all the Star Wars Topics episodes up to date. So yeah, if you want to watch any more of these episodes, I don't know why you would. I don't know why I would. Yeah, never mind.
No.
Forget it. Forget it.
You need to watch all of them. Yes. We need the views.
Watch us become one of us. One of us. One of us. Everybody's supposed to say it with me. Come on. No, I'm just kidding. Let's go ahead and end it. I'm crazy right now.
no, we're not ending it. We got
Right
a few
now?
more hours.
No, we don't have a few more hours. I thought you said you weren't up for a 5-hour stream.
I'm not, but I'll just sleep through it at some point. Like I'll just
Look,
I'll be here sleeping and
I think we peaked at the 4-hour stream for and I want to have a slow build up to that 5-hour stream that you keep referring to. A very slow build up. I mean, there was already a slow build up to the 4-hour one, so maybe someday there'll be a 5-hour stream. But
You do
honestly,
realize that by denying her request, you are a misogynist and you should be canceled.
well, you know what? That's why you're my minority friend. I can't be canceled if I have a friend like you. Man, if people actually took this out of context or actually took us seriously, what would happen?
Yeah,
I'd hope nobody actually thought we were this weird, stupid, like racist, weird, stupid kind of thing,
child murderers.
Yeah. Disclaimer, I'm not actually a child murderer.
Oh, that's
No,
fine.
you're a child
Yeah.
butcherer.
A butcherer. Hey, look, like I said, it's a pastime. Don't judge me. Anyways, I think we're going to end it with that one. So, of course, we with you.
Child
we'll
butchering.
See you at some point. At some point, yes.
Sector.